Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. I feel like Melania Trump. I've
Hello.
literally flipped the camera like this side and then like flipped it upside down like 6 times trying to figure out like which was the best angle for me. And I feel like we're at a good place right here. I have my phone propped up against two books, and then you're propped up on my computer, which is propped up on like a shelf thing, which is propped up on my desk. So I'll insert like a picture of what it looks like, but yeah, we're here one way or another, and I have things to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of my non existent podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about 6 things that 6 years of therapy has taught me. I love therapy so much. I love therapy. I love my therapist. I always tell everybody my therapist is my best friend. Her name is Devin. We are best friends. She knows everything about me, down to like a T. Like she knows me better than I know myself. It's really scary. I tell her everything more than my friends, more than my mother. She's really like an older sister to me. She's the older sister that I like never had. I have this habit of like looking for older sister figures in like everyone that I meet and everyone that I see because I am the older sister. I don't have an older sister. So like if I can't have like a biological older sister, I'm using my hands way too much. If I can't have a biological older sister, I will look for a makeshift one. You know, like, and I think other older sisters can agree, but I can go on and on about therapy and how therapy has really helped me. I've been in therapy since I was 14, 14 years old. 6 years and I'm 20. Yeah, 14. So my first therapist was, I can't remember her name, but she was blonde and she was really nice, but she specialized in kids. And I think because I still like qualified as like a kid, I wasn't 18. I think I was just kind of thrown into her circle. Um, and she was so nice and she tried to help me as much as she could. But at 14-year-old Ainsley was going through a lot of things. That is when I got my anxiety diagnosis and my depression diagnosis. And I was a lot and probably too much for her. And I got a lot out of it, but not as much as I could have. And then my next therapist, I think I had, um, I took a little bit of a break and then I came back, I think a year later. And she was really nice, but she did not feel personal at all. And some people really like that. Some people just like the, like, take all emotion out. I don't want to have a connection with you. I just want to talk about my problems and I want you to tell me like what I can do, how I can like fix it. And I'm not that kind of person. I love forming connections with people that, especially people that I know about my trauma and know about like everything about me. Like I want us to be best friends. How do you think I'm going to trust you? You know? So that didn't work for me either because she was just like that's literally how it felt. And I was like, I'm done with therapy. And so 2 months before I moved across the country from Chicago, Illinois to Tampa, Florida, I quit therapy. And I said, nope, this isn't for me. I'm not going to do therapy anymore. I'm going to take a break and I'm going to be fine. I was not fine. If you have ever moved, I was going to say move across the country, but if you've ever moved, period, it's really weird. It's you carry so much of that emotion that you kind of like gather with you for the rest of your life. Like I still will see things or like I still find like I was just cleaning out my closet today and I found things from Chicago that I really forgot about and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this reminds me of this, which reminds me of this." And, like it all comes back to like me being like, "Oh my gosh, that move was the worst thing I've ever done." Because literally in the moment, my life ended. My life ended. I was ripped away from all of my family in Chicago, my friends in Chicago, my life. It was the only place I had ever lived in. I grew up there. Every single thing that important to me that I experienced in Chicago. And when I left, it literally felt like I was like leaving. This is gonna sound so corny, but it felt like I was leaving my heart behind. You know, I'm sorry, that was actually really corny. But that is literally what it felt like because I came to Florida and I was like, oh my gosh, it's hot, it's scary, like it's the middle of the summer. I mean, I'm going to Disney a lot, and that's really nice, and I'm so grateful that, you know, I got to move to my vacation spot because every year my family would take a trip to Florida and we'd always come to the same place and we'd always go to Disney. So I was like, okay, I'm living in my vacation spot now. That's really cool, but I don't have any friends. I don't have anyone actually. And so like school orientation came and I didn't know anyone, and for the like first 2 months of school I was sitting by myself and at lunch, and it was so like, ugh, I literally don't even remember a lot of it because I'm a social person with the right people. Now, don't get me wrong, I love being by myself. I will take myself shopping, I will take myself to a movie, I will take myself around town, you know. But I think in a school setting, when I saw everybody else like with other people, I was like, oh my gosh, I want that so bad. And I remember having that less than 4 months ago. I had that in the palm of my hand. I had so many friends. I had so many like people I could sit with at lunch. I had like a whole entire life. I had a life. And now I literally have like I have nothing. That was like shocking. That was like that like it like really messed with my brain chemistry. But I I found the greatest group of people. Um, I didn't suffer for long. I found the best people, and I'm still best friends with most of them to this day. God bless. Like, God bless. Oh my gosh. Like, if you're watching this and you were at my sixth period lunch table and we are still talking and chit chatting, I love you, and I'm so glad that we're still friends. Anyway, kind of coming back to what I originally was, what this video is about, everybody needs therapy. I needed therapy when I moved and I didn't have it, and I think it would have made it easier. And there were so many things that happened to me when I moved that I think the transition from moving to Chicago to moving to Florida and the experience, and like I went through all of it alone, and I think it would have been so helpful to have somebody even to just rant to about it, because I would talk to my mom, and my mom is the sweetest person ever and she'll always listen to me and I love her so much for that. But there's a bias there because she's my mother, you know. And there's an not there's a lack of that bias in therapy that I think is really important, because you're going to get that, like, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear kind of factor, you know. At least my therapist does that with me for sure. Um, but I think everybody can gain something from therapy. And I think that the biggest red flag from anybody is them being like, oh, I tried therapy and it didn't work. Ugh, that means you need it, in my opinion. Because if you, I don't know, I just think that if you're going to therapy and you have to deliberately like, okay, I will say sometimes people end up with bad therapists and it gives them a really bad experience. That's valid. That is so valid. Um, I've had bad therapists, or like not great therapists. I've never had a bad therapist, but I've had not great therapists, and it definitely has made me be like, I don't need therapy. I'm better on my own. I'm just gonna like pray and talk to my mom. And that gets you like halfway there. It really does. Like prayer and talking to your parents and talking to trusted people in your life, that's great. But your friends aren't your therapist. Your mom is not your therapist. Your dad is not your therapist. Your legal guardian is not your therapist. Your therapist is your therapist, you know? And I feel like everybody that I say that to is like, oh, but you're like, you're paying them. They're just talking to you like because you're paying them. Like, I'm fine with paying like $30 every 2 weeks to talk to a trained professional about my problems, like, and them telling me ways to fix it that actually work, you know? Like, I don't really understand how that's the thing that stops people. I think everybody can get something out of therapy. I think if your insurance covers it, like, or covers most of it, I really, really think that you should give it a try. Um, because I think growing up, I'm so much more of a listener than a talker, and I really need to get better about like stopping conversations and being like, "Hey, I'd love to tell my story without being interrupted." I really do need to get better about telling people like, "Hey, like I love you, but you need to just let me talk. You've interrupted me like 5 times. I don't feel heard out right now." Because that's literally how I have felt my entire life. And so I was always the therapist, always the freaking therapist, everybody would come to me and be like, Ainsley, blah, 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 I'm having this problem, I'm having that problem. And I would help them because I'm a good person and I'm a great friend. But it's emotionally exhausting to hear people's problems all the freaking time and be like, this is how you fix it. This is how I would fix it. Let me step into your shoes. Now let me step into your shoes. Now let me step into your shoes. It's like I wasn't in my own shoes. I was always in other people's. That's exhausting. And I was doing that at like 8 years old. Girl. Anyway, took me like 19 years to learn that that was a problem of mine and to start fixing it. And I'm starting to kind of like backtrack that and kind of put myself first and set up some boundaries. And it feels so awful to set up boundaries. And that's literally one of the points that we're going to get to today. Um, but don't talk to me. Don't talk to your friends. Like, talk to a therapist. And I'm not saying like don't talk to your friends. Like, don't tell your friends your problems. Of course, talk to your friends about your problems. They're your friends. That's like part of the reason that they're there, you know? But don't like talk to your friends like they're your therapist. That is so much like emotional baggage that you're putting onto them, and that's so disrespectful, and that's so like I don't know. And I think I'm so angry about it because it's like I'm just so sick of it because I put up with it for so long. But I know how it feels, and I don't want other people to feel like they're stuck in a conversation talking to somebody and like telling somebody else like how they can improve their life, that they forget how to like improve their own life and they forget to focus on themselves, you know? Anyway, I think we should get into the actual part of this video. Holy long intro. I am so sorry. My name is Ainsley Lorenz, and this is 6 things that 6 years of therapy has taught me. Number one, this is actually, I low-key wrote like a banger for this. You don't have to be great at something for it to fulfill you. You do not have to be great at something for it to fulfill you. You don't have to be great at something immediately for it to fulfill you. I think a lot of people want to be good at something like ASAP. I think that like if somebody picks up like a guitar and they're like, I want to learn how to play guitar. A lot of people, mainly perfectionists, I think, they only feel like they got something out of it if they have learned a song by the time that they like stand up, and that's the only way that they are going to be like, okay, I feel accomplished, you know. um i don't I don't think that's right. I don't think that's healthy. You don't need to wait to get good at something. I think it can fulfill you from the second that you pick it up, whether that's like exercising or like learning an instrument or anything, like anything that takes time and practice. I think you don't have to be good at it immediately for it to fulfill you. What was it? I said something earlier to myself and I kind of like blew myself away. What was it? Um Hold on. It's in my notes app. Okay, I found it. Ready for this? Nothing is going to fulfill you unless you can appreciate what it's doing for you in the present instead of what it can do for you in the future. I'm not going to repeat it because I forgot it. But if you can't like appreciate just the escapism that something gives you, because I think that's what I look for when I am like picking up like a new hobby or whatever. Like I sketched for a while and I wasn't good at it and I'm still really not good at it. And if like they're in here and I'm not going to show you guys because it's like I know I'm not good at it, and that's okay because it still fulfilled me, you know. Like I loved sitting down and I loved like drawing what was in front of me, and I they were so bad, it was really bad. um but I loved it because I could just focus on something that wasn't like inside of my head. I could focus on something that was like in front of me and tangible, and like it was really healthy for me to like get out of my head that way. And I think that's what we're looking for when we pick something up, at least like mentally ill people. Um, I think that's what people are looking for when they kind of like take up a new hobby, is like that escapism. Not everybody. I think some people pick up guitar just to get good at guitar. Um, but like when I played guitar, I would do it when I was stressed, or I would do it when I was like, and I got pretty good at it. I'm not good at it anymore, actually. I don't remember any of the songs that I learned, and I think, oh my gosh, there are so many things where it's like, oh, if I had started and if I had continued since like that day, like 2 years ago, imagine how good I would be now. Like that's me with like the gym right now. I'm like, oh my God, if I had actually like kept going since like that day that I went 2 years ago, maybe I'd have an ass. But I don't, and that's fine. But yeah, what else did I write down? I think that if you have that mindset of like, oh, I have to be good at it for it to fulfill me, it's never gonna fulfill you because you're gonna get better the more that you do it. You're gonna get possibly amazing at it, whatever you do. But if you keep feeding that mindset, you're always gonna want more. There's never like what checkpoint do you reach where you're like, okay, now I'm good. I'm good. Like I'm done. This is it. Like this is and I think for some people like maybe they have a goal. Like I keep going back to guitar, but like, oh, I really wanted to learn this song and I learned it and now I want this. I feel like there's always something better that you're going to want if you have that like I have to be good at it mindset. That was a whole lot of word vomit. Let's move on to number 2. Um Comparison is your enemy. A lot of points in this that I wrote down all lead back to comparison. Um, Comparison is your enemy. It is not there to help you. You should not be listening to it under most circumstances. My freaking computer keeps turning off. Oh my goodness. Um, in the majority of cases, comparison is evil and it is not there to help you and it is just in your head and it is going to destroy you. I deal with comparison every single day. Um, because I open social media every single day. And the people I see on there look so much cooler than me and so much prettier than me. And they all have like better bodies and they're all amazing and beautiful and perfect. And they're literally perfect. And I am not, you know? Point blank, period. You only live one life and you will only live that life as yourself. You're not going to live it as the girl on Instagram. You're not going to live it as your neighbor. You're not going to live it as that one girl you saw in Italy 2 years ago on vacation who had the perfect ass. Like, you're going to live it as you. You're only going to live it as yourself. You're only going to live it as like the person that you see in the mirror. I sound so repetitive. I'm going to shut up. But point blank, period. That's all you're going to get. So why, like, there is no point trying to be somebody that you're not, you know? As I'm sitting here with like overly tan skin and bleached hair, I just think it's such a waste of time to use the entirety of your life trying to be somebody that you're not because it's just not going to happen. It's an unrealistic, impossible goal. And kind of like I said with my first point, you're always going to want something more. There's never going to be a point where you're going to look at yourself and be like, now I have the exact hair that I wanted. I have the exact skin that I wanted. I have the body that I wanted. And you're never going to look in the mirror for more than 5 minutes and be like, this is all I wanted. I'm so happy now. You are always going to want something more because, like, that's how your brain works. You're always going to want something more. You're going to see something new and you're going to want to just like attach it to yourself. And it just doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Unfortunately. Instead, I think that you should try to strive to be the best version of yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, not just appearance wise. I think if like you only look beautiful if you feel beautiful, and if you're comparing yourself to a lot of people, then I don't think you feel beautiful. I'm sure you still look beautiful. Um, but like you're just not gonna feel pretty, you know? And that sucks. And I want whoever's watching this to feel good about themselves. And that breaks my heart because I know exactly what that feels like. I feel it. I literally felt it like 5 minutes before filming this video. I was scrolling on Reels and I saw a video of freaking Indy Neveretti and her perfect little everything. And I was like, I don't look like her. You guys should comment and tell me that I look like Indy Neveretti. Who said that? I think the only time that you can use comparison is if you're using it to healthily inspire you. If you look at somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, their style is so cool, my style doesn't look like that. I think then you can be like, okay, I'm gonna go to the thrift store and I'm gonna look for like this piece or a similar piece that this girl had on. I think that's an okay way to use comparison. What's not okay is looking at somebody and being like, I want their nose, I want their eyes, I want their hair. Those aren't things that you can fix or like change. I'm not gonna say fix. You don't need to fix anything. Those are not things that you can change in like 5 minutes. So don't bother changing them, you know? Literally, it took me so long to be like okay with how I looked because literally, I think ever since going through like that awkward puberty phase where like you're growing into your features and like everything looks a little bit off, I think ever since then I've always considered myself like kind of ugly because well I was really ugly back when I was like 15 years old and like I knew it. That's fine and it's just that a lot of people are ugly when they're 15, 14 because it's like that's like awkward and it's like you're going through a lot of changes and you're growing into your features and it's like yeah, I'll be the first to say it. I was ugly and a lot of other people are too. But I carried a lot of I still carry that emotion and that belief with me that it's like I look like my 20-year-old self, but I still feel like my 15-year-old self. And when I look in the mirror, sometimes I still see like those insecurities. And I've grown into my nose. I've grown into like my chin, like my I got my wisdom teeth out and it like narrowed my jawline. Like it genuinely like gave me more like cheekbone than I had before. Shout out. Um but like I remember when I still had like my baby fat and like my hairline. I don't know. My hairline also grew down too, or maybe just because I stopped wearing my hair like in like ponytails a lot. But I like my face a lot better now. But there are still some times where it's like I feel like the ugliest person in the world. I still like get moments like that, and I can't tell you why. It just happens. And the craziest part about that is like somebody probably just heard that and is like, Ainsley, literally shut up, you're so annoying because you're like so beautiful and I can't believe that you would say that. And you know what's even crazier? That's how people feel about you when you are like, oh, I feel so ugly. Somebody out there is like, shut up, you're pissing me off, you know you're beautiful. Like that is genuinely, I kid you not, that is genuinely, I'm 1000% sure of it, that is genuinely how people feel about you because you notice your insecurities because you've grown up with them. Nobody else has grown up with your features. Like I promise you, when you first meet somebody, I promise you, the first thing that they're gonna look at is like, it's not gonna be your nose, or like your chin, or like that like spot on your face. I'm sorry, I'm like burping right, like I I didn't eat that well today, and I had like brisket for dinner, and now I'm like my stomach is kind of upset. Um, like oh my gosh, my freaking computer keeps trying to shut off. That's my backlight. That's like the only thing that's keeping me like looking alive right now. Um, like I promise you, that's like your insecurities are not the first thing that people see. So stop comparing yourself. Just stop. And I know it's so much easier said than done, but like, jeez, I'm sick of it. I'm sure you're sick of it. Let's just stop. Let's just like be like, no, and I'm done. I'm done comparing myself. Say it with me. I'm done comparing myself. Period. Now sign this paper. Number 3. I can't read my handwriting. Okay. How to regulate yourself. In parentheses, I wrote depression plus anxiety. Um, so I am depressed and anxious. I have been diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I've had both of them since I was like, well, legally and medically, I've had both of them since I was 14 years old. Realistically, probably like 7. I've just been sad like my whole life. Um, and I've been anxious my whole life. And it has really hindered like a lot of my relationships friendships and life and how I spend my time alone. And it's like it is the biggest burden I will carry with me for the rest of my life. There is not a day of my life where I will not feel depressed and anxious to some certain degree or level. Some days it's really better than others, and some days I have full blown panic attacks and depressive episodes, and I literally want to kill. I probably can't say that on like YouTube. I want to, if you're catching my drift. So, after having depression and anxiety for all these years and talking about it in therapy and just living with it, I have discovered some things that really help when I am in the middle of an episode, whether it's depression or anxiety, or I feel one coming on. And these things really help. And I'm going to preface this by saying these are things that you've heard before, and these are things that you're sick of hearing because you've never tried them. Okay? Yes, you have to take a walk. Yes, you have to drink water. I'm sorry. I know, like, you don't want to hear that because you've heard it so many times and it seems so, like, cliche, and it's like it always comes from people who don't know what depression and anxiety is like. But they're low-key onto something, okay? I promise you, don't knock it till you try it. You have to sit out in the sun. Like, I promise you. Why do you think I tan so much? I'm depressed. And that's like, it makes me feel better. Vitamin D, like, I love myself some vitamin D. Yes, you'll catch me out at 1 p.m. when the UV is 10 every day. I walk around in a bikini all the freaking time in my house because I'm always out by my pool. God bless my parents for buying a house with a pool. I love that thing. I think the first thing you need to do when you notice that you're really depressed or really anxious or stuck in a really negative emotion that you don't want to feel anymore is you have to get up. You just have to get up. If you're laying down, get up. Like if you're sitting down, get up. You need to stand on your 2 feet and you need to get up. I wrote get up and move. No, I'm not saying like put on your running shoes and like change and then put your hair up and do all this like 10 step and be like, I'm gonna go on a 3 mile run. I'll be back in an hour. Like, don't like I'm not saying like we're not jumping the entire staircase. We're taking it one step at a time. Literally, this is what I do, okay? I pace. I pace back and forth. I open the door to my room just so that I can see that like there's it's like an outside to my room because when I'm in my room for too long I feel like it's like the only place that exists. So I open the door to my room and I pace back and forth until slowly I start pacing outside of my room. And then I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm in a bigger space. I'm in like a more open space. There are more windows out here. There's more sunlight. There's more fresh air. Wow, like maybe all I needed was just to get up and move. If you don't want to pace, the second best thing is rocking back and forth. I love it. I think it's because I genuinely think that people love rocking back and forth because it's like that's what like our mothers did when we were babies. And I do think there's still a part of our brains that like when I rock back and forth, I'm like, huh, like that's how I feel. I genuinely think it's because as babies, like that was like a thing that really calmed us. And whenever I hold a baby or whenever I hold like an animal, I always rock back and forth. I cannot wait to be a mother. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Um, but rocking back and forth is the next best thing. Or stretching. That's what I think I wrote that. Stretching. Um, you don't have to know how to stretch to stretch. I'm not asking you to do yoga. Yoga is great. I can make an entire video about how yoga has really really helped me. Like I fully believe that I held like trauma in my hips and I've like really kind of like gotten rid of a lot of it or came to terms with a lot of it because of stretching my freaking hips. And I thought it was a myth. Apparently it's not because it happened to me. You don't have to know how to stretch. Like just reach your arms up, lean back. One of my favorites is I'll like grab onto like a counter and like lean my butt back and like really like stretch out my stomach. It feels so good. Oh my gosh. I don't I don't think you guys are gonna like the sound of this next one, especially if you're in the middle of an episode, but clean your room. I'm sorry, I know. I know that's the last thing that you guys probably want to do when you're in an episode or experiencing a really negative emotion. Okay, you have options. Um, clean your room, clean your body, clean your teeth, um, clean something to kickstart. That's what I wrote. I think I meant like something to kickstart the cleaning process. It's real. You got to get the ball moving. Like, you can't just go like 0 to 60. You have to like do something small and then do something a little bit bigger and then do something a little bit bigger. So if that little thing even is like, if you don't feel like washing your face, at least like wipe your face off with like a wipe or like some micellar water, and I promise you, you're gonna feel a little bit better. And then maybe you're gonna want to brush your teeth, and then maybe you're gonna want to clean a little bit of your bathroom, and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this feels so clean. I want more spaces in my life to be this clean. And then maybe you're gonna get the motivation to clean your room, and it's gonna feel so amazing. And then you're gonna be like, if you feel really good right now, a shower, and then you're gonna take a shower, and then look at that. Almost like all the aspects of your life are clean and organized. How about that? What did I say here? This is something I learned from my second therapist. Visualize yourself like stepping out of your body. Separate your mind and your body. Like visualize yourself literally stepping out of your body and being like, how are we going to help this girl? How are we going to help this guy? Like, I'm telling you, it changed my life. You need to treat yourself like how you would treat one of your friends if they were really depressed. Like, what would you tell them? Like, for example, I talk to myself in like terms of like like okay, we need to do this. Okay, we need to get up and we just need to clean this part of our room, and then we can go do something. I think rewarding yourself is also very important, because for some people, for me, I've gotten to the point where it's like, I want to clean this so I feel good, and that's my reward at the end. And some people aren't at that point yet, and that is totally fine. And they need some kind of more physical reward, and that is totally okay. And I think that rewarding yourself with like food or shopping or something like that's like just feel good is very important. I think that's all I have to say for that. Number 4. Healing is not linear. Healing is never a straight line. You're never going to meet anybody where it's like, yeah, I broke up with somebody and then the next day I was over him. That doesn't exist. That never exists. That should not exist. That is not a healthy way to heal. Because I promise you, like, all they're doing is just pushing away their feelings, and then they're going to come back, like, even stronger, like, in, like, a week or a month. And it's going to be bad, and they're going to have to deal with them eventually. I know I used the example of a breakup, but this goes for literally anything. I'm healing from an eating disorder right now, and that it's not linear. I'm telling you, I had a really bad eating day today. I woke up and I ate cake because it was the only thing that felt good. To preface, I have orphid. I'm not the kind of person where it's like, I want to lose weight. I've never wanted to lose weight. It's like a restriction, kind of like food just never sounds good to me, so I just don't eat. That's like the most simple. You Google it. I'm not here. I'm not gonna explain all that. But I had such a bad eating day today. Um, I ate like 2 things, and they were cake and like an Uncrustable. But I had a really good dinner. I had a lot of corn. And I had like an entire brisket like sandwich that my father made. And one day I will get to the point where it's like 3 meals a day is normal. But for now, I have good days and I have bad days, and that's okay. And the good days, I'm eventually going to get to the point where I have more good days and bad days. But right now, I feel like I have more bad days than good days, and that's okay. Like, I'm not going from point A to point B like super fast. Like I'm not looking to heal myself overnight. That'd be lovely if I could. That'd be awesome. That would be the dream. But that just doesn't happen. The only way you will heal is how you will heal. Somebody else's healing journey is going to look completely different from you. They might heal from something faster. They might heal from something slower. It's going to look different because they're not you. And again, going back to comparison, don't compare yourself to them, because there's a reason that you're healing different from them, and that reason is because you are not the same freaking person, okay? It literally just comes down to that. It's like that's it. You're not the same person, so you're not going to heal the same way, and you have to be okay with that. Right here. It's okay to have bad days / failure days. You're going to have bad days and you're going to have failure days. And it's okay to have both. Like for me, like a bad day with like eating, it kind of looks like today. Like, as I said, I didn't have a good day today. A failure day, I think, would be like not eating anything at all. That's a complete failure day. Um, feels like I've thrown my entire day away. It feels like I'm like taken 4 steps backwards. It makes me feel so disgusting. It's awful. Um, and it's okay to have those days. It's okay to have those days. It's not okay to have them all the time. I think if you are having failure days, like more often than not, then I think going back to therapy, I think you need to talk to your therapist and be like, hey, something's not working. I think we should try a different plan. I think we should try to pinpoint the problem that I'm having right now. Like, there are so many things that you can do with a therapist. It is okay to have a failure day every once in a while. And that can look like, I don't know, like for a breakup, like maybe like stalking their socials. That sucks. Oh my gosh. Wow. I haven't like, oh my gosh, it's been 2 years since I've had like an actual relationship. Um, and I do not miss that at all. And I actually think that that's what's keeping me from having another relationship because I just like, I can't break up with somebody again. I can't freaking do it. I don't like the person that I turn into when I break up with somebody. Like, I'm crazy. So, um, I, I think I need to buy a handwriting book. Like, I can't read my own writing. I think I wrote this when I was like I was really passionate about what I was gonna say. I was like I must have been writing at the speed of freaking light because this is crazy. Okay, face the hard emotions slash feelings, acknowledge them, but do not dwell. Whew. If you dwell on those negative emotions, I promise you, you will not heal. And if you do, it will take a millennia. Like, holy cow. I'm not saying that you should expect to not have any negative emotions or negative feelings towards what you're healing from. Like, using the analogy of like a breakup, like if you wake up and you're like, I miss him, her, them, I miss them so much. I miss them so much. And you start crying and you spend the entire day crying. That's okay. Okay? That's okay. Just don't let it happen tomorrow. I think it's okay to have those feelings, and it's even better to acknowledge them and be like, okay, I'm feeling really sad right now, and it's okay that I'm feeling really sad because I'm going through A, B, C, like whatever you're going through. Like, validate that, be like, okay, I know why I'm feeling sad. I know it's okay to feel this sad or this angry or this upset or whatever. And then you need to just let it pass. Otherwise, it will rot you from the inside out. Trust me, if you hold on to it and there's like a Selena Gomez lyric. It's like you can hold on to the sadness like a souvenir or you can like do something. It's from Rise. But literally, you can hold on to it and be like, "Oh, this is the one. This is like a really good memory that I have, but it makes me or like you can if you acknowledge like a really painful emotion or memory and you sit with it for longer than you should, instead of acknowledging it and being like, okay, it's over, it's not happening again, and just like be like, okay, like it's over, it's done, I'm ready to heal, I want to heal. You have to want to heal to heal. Um, but if you hold on to that, you are going to feel yourself like rot away, like physically and emotionally and mentally. You are just gonna like feel yourself like not, you're not gonna feel like yourself, like you're gonna feel awful. Speaking from experience. I didn't write anything else for this. And I don't think I have anything else to say. I think I said a lot of the stuff I wanted to say. Okay, this next point is so personal to me, and I kind of wrote this so that I could say some of this stuff out loud and hear myself say it and maybe feel a little bit better about it. Um, but it is okay to not have a person, whether that's like a best friend. That's it. That's really it. If you don't have a best friend or a person, or you're like one best friend where it's like, oh, everybody's like, oh, that's Ainsley and so they're always together, that's her person. I've never had that, and that is okay. And I grew up looking for that. I grew up looking and searching high and low for a person that I could like talk to and be with and like just have. I wanted my person so badly, and I never found her. And that is okay. Okay? That is okay. I never found a person. And I don't think I want a person. That's a lie. That is a total lie. I would love to have somebody that I like can call 24/7 and like is like my person. I like want that so bad. But I don't want like okay, we're not gonna talk about that. So I grew up looking for a person instead of pouring into current relationships that I had. I think what I was doing, I was creating so many shallow connections with people, being like, "Are you my person? Are you my person? Are you my missing puzzle piece?" Um, Instead of like, I had a lot of, and I still have these people. I have a lot of really good friends that I was not pouring into because I was so busy spending my energy on like finding my person. That's so stupid, and I'm so sorry to all my friends who I like. I don't think you probably noticed it, but I did, and I feel really bad. Um, you if you don't have a person and if you feel like you don't have friends, that's okay. I don't have a lot of friends, and that's fine, and I'm fine with it. I have some really great friends who live nowhere near me, and I have some really good friends who live literally right next to me. And not all of them are my best friends, and some of them were my best friends, and now they're not, and some of them weren't, and now they are. And I think that's okay. I was gonna say some big thing and be like, and that's okay but it's okay to not have a best friend. I have multiple best friends, but I don't have like a number one best friend. And like people, like having your person that only exists in movies. I'm so sorry. Like if you have a person, that's great, but I promise you, like in the movies it's like she just has that person, that's her friend, like that's her only friend, and they hang out with each other 24/7 because they only have each other. Like that's literally like, go back and watch like any movie where it's like they have like a best friend and they're like each other's only friends. I promise you, you probably have more friends than the person who has a person in a movie. Take a shot every single time I say person. I assure you, like, you don't need a person, you just need to pour into the friendships that you already have. Okay, what are you looking for in a person? I think what people are looking for when they like are looking for like a person or like their best friend is like reciprocated attention or like reciprocated love, or kind of like that acknowledgement that like you have somebody who cares about you and is thinking about you. But that exists in everyone. Some people show it in different forms. I show it by I texted two people today. I was like, I took a picture of something. I was like, I texted them and I said, hey, this reminds me of you. Because I love telling people that I'm thinking about them. And when it's not reciprocated, I stop, you know? And that's how I keep my like circle so tight. If you don't make the cut, you don't make the cut. This is crazy. I've been talking for so long. To wrap that note up, it's okay to not have a person. Nobody has just one person. I promise you, that is so stupid and it only exists in movies. You can find what you're looking for in a person in your friends that you already have. You just have to have the right circle around you. And if it hasn't happened yet, I promise you it'll happen. If you're watching this and you're like 17 years old or something, only my friends are watching this. Um, on the off chance that you're like 17 years old, 16 years old, and you're watching this and you're like, I haven't found my people yet. I didn't have anyone that I considered my best friend at 16. I didn't even, I like had people that I was like, I guess they're my friend. That's how I felt about everybody in my life when I was 16 years old. I was like, yeah, I guess they want to be friends with me. Even like my best friend now, who lives nowhere near me, and I love her dearly so much. When I was like 16, and when I was only like a year and a half into our friendship, I was like, I guess she wants to be friends with me. Like I didn't really feel like I had like people who wanted to be friends with me. And I promise you that changes because I'm 20 years old now and I really have people that I do fully believe care about me. Um, and it feels really good. And I promise you, you'll get to that point if you haven't already. I mean, it's nothing that you're doing wrong. It's just something that happens. You will find your people. Um, Say hi to more people. I don't know. That's what I did. I said hi to a lot of people, and now I have a lot of good friends. Number 6 out of 6. Boundaries do not make you evil. They don't. It is so uncomfortable to set boundaries. I think I mentioned this before, like early in the video. I hate setting boundaries. I hate it. It is so uncomfortable. When I have to tell somebody and I'm like, I don't like when you do this. Oh my gosh, I'm the worst person in the freaking world and I hate myself and I think I should just like die. That like literally, I'm like, oh my gosh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm really. It's like it's making me uncomfortable just thinking about it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And that comes from being a people pleaser. 1 million trillion gazillion percent. And I get that from my mother. What I've done, and I don't know if this is the healthiest way to go about it, and I I don't really suggest this, but if you're looking for like a quick fix for this, working on detaching over empathizing for people. I think one of the things that I really struggle with is like I know what it feels like to like be told no and then be really like embarrassed and humiliated, and I'm like I don't want anybody else to feel that way, even if I don't like them. I don't want anybody to feel that way, and I definitely don't want anybody to feel that way because of me. And I don't know how I did that, and if there was a method then I would totally share it with you guys, but I don't know. One day I woke up and I was just like, I'm so done. I was just like so angry. I was like, I'm so done. I'm so done letting people walk all over me. It really felt like this is the start of my villain era. It really did. Because then I was like unapologetically setting boundaries. I was like, no, that makes me uncomfortable. You can't do this. It, I don't like when you say this. Please stop interrupting me. I was just like throwing one-liners left and right and just feeling like an absolute like Disney villain. That's exactly who I felt like, and I loved it. Actually, no, I didn't love it. It actually felt really uncomfortable and I hated it. But I did it because I detached a lot of overthinking and over empathizing from it. Can you guys read that? I don't know. Um, but yeah, this is my life. It's not my part in your life. It's my life. So why would I spend my life letting you walk all over me when I could literally just say no? When I could literally just say like no, please stop. That's it. No is a sentence, you guys. That's what my mother always told me. No, period. That's a sentence. You don't have to explain why you're saying no to anybody. Now, I'm not saying like if somebody invites you somewhere and you really don't want to go, and I think I used to be the person where it's like, oh, I can't go because A, B, and C, and I feel really sorry about it, but I can't go. Like, that was lying. I was lying. I didn't feel bad about not being able to go. I loved creating those excuses. Like, oh my gosh, like, yes, I have 16 alibis, and I just gave you three of them. No, I'm not saying like go from like over explaining yourself to just being like no. Once you think I want to hang out with you, like don't do that. But I think that what you could do is like be like, no, I can't. I'm so sorry. And that's all you have to say. You don't always have to text your mom being like, hey, can you like come up with a plan to get me out of that? Because I always do. Really, I would be at a sleepover and be like, I want to go home, and I text my mom and I'd be like, pick me up. Like, say we have a family emergency. I hate sleepovers. Oh my gosh, I literally wake up and I feel like I'm gonna throw up every single time I wake up at somebody else's house. It's so awful. I was actually just talking to a friend about this, and I think it comes from anxiety. I've gotten to the point where I've kind of outgrown like the whole like excuses thing, because it's like I don't need to give you all that energy when you're not even gonna like you are not gonna think about me saying no as much as I am thinking about saying no. I've spent so much energy on like creating like excuses and creating like alibis for myself and being like, this is why I can't go. This is another reason why I can't go. I'm so sorry. Invite me next time. I promise I want to hang out with you in the future. Sometimes I don't want to hang out with those people, and that's completely fine. Like all you have to say is like, no, I'm sorry, I can't go. You don't have to like sell your soul to say no, you know? Think of your future self. What would your future self want? If you don't say no now, you're gonna have to go. And you're gonna hate going if you don't want to go. Like if I was invited to a party and I really didn't want to go, but the people pleasing side of myself was like, see you there, I'm so excited. And I, and then I was at that party and the only thing I would want to do is leave. Like think of your future self. Deal with that 5 minutes of uncomfortableness so that instead of going to this party, you can just sit and watch a movie by yourself. That's my kind of party right there. I love like sitting by myself. I love being by myself. Yeah, that's really, I mean, that was a lot. I'm so sorry I talked a lot. I really wanted to make this shorter. I do hope somebody got something out of this. And if you just listened to it to hear me talk, then thank you. Because I still really appreciate that. Um, like this video up and subscribe if you haven't already. I have no idea when the next time I'm going to be filming a video is. I don't have a schedule or anything yet. This is literally just something that I do for fun. And I was talking to my mom about it, and she was like, why do you want to be an influencer so bad? And I'm like, I don't, like, it'd be nice to be an influencer. That'd be great. And like, if I could quit my job, like, and just move to LA. Like, that's the dream, low key. Like, I grew up watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Of course, that's my dream. But I'm literally just doing this because I'm so bored, you guys. I'm so bored. I don't even care if like only one person watches this. I love talking. I love talking to myself. This is probably gonna be my most like awkward video because I'm so not used to sitting and talking for this long in an empty room just to a camera. So I promise you guys I will get better at this. Next video I'm going to talk about things. I think it's going to be titled like things your older sister didn't teach you, and it's just going to be me talking about things that I've learned as a 20-year-old young woman that I think people would find useful. I don't know if that's not the next one, then maybe I'll go like thrifting or shopping and I'll do like a buy or buy. I'll do like a get ready with me or something. Something will be up because I'm so bored and this is the only thing that's like keeping me sane right now. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great night. I think it's like, what time is it right now? It's like 1 in the morning. I'm gonna go wash my face and brush my teeth and go to bed. I actually think I'm gonna play Roblox for a little bit and then go to bed. But yes, I love you all. Thank you so much for watching again. And I will catch you whenever I drop another video.